Hi guys, and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 886, The Way I Live. I'm gonna warn you now, in case you haven't seen how long this video is, it's probably gonna be real long, cause I got, so much to talk about. When I read the first 15 pages or 14 pages, I was like, oh yeah, this is just gonna focus on Pudding and Sanji and them getting out of Cacao Island to set out to sea. And then there was just so much jam-packed material, not only in the last 5 pages, but also just when I went back to read, I was like, whoa, damn, a lot of things happened in this chapter, just in the first 10-12 pages. So let's just start from let's start with from the beginning. I'm like, where should I start? Let's start with Pound though. Pound comes in here, and he tries to save Chiffon, who is being attacked by Charlotte Oven. And I find it really interesting that Chiffon does not know who he is. She's just like, who's this old man? Because I was under the impression that they'd at least know who he was, because he was like, oh, I'd recognize Chiffon anywhere. He knows what they look like. And it's not like you look, I mean, this is the One Piece world, but it's not like you look exactly the way you do as when you were a child or a baby. So I just assumed they'd know who they were, but no, they have no clue who their fathers are, apparently. So the older siblings would obviously recognize him as, oh, a past husband of Big Mom, and he was the father to Lola and Chiffon, but he's not there for the children, which when I think about it, it makes sense. If Big Mom wants to get rid of the husband, it makes sense for her to do it before the children know who their fathers are, because that way they won't get attached. So in that sense, it makes sense, but it's really sad that these fathers are not allowed to spend any time with their children. They don't know who they are. There might be a few exceptions, but we haven't seen them, so I mean, for all we know, none of these people know who their father is, which could also contribute to why they're so loyal to Big Mom, because they've never had any other parent, which is like, your parent is literally crazy, but if she protects you, gives you food, and is the only parent you have, I mean, then it just makes a little bit more sense. But I do like his approach to things, that it's like, I don't like doing this to my own sister, but you literally did betray our family and you tried to kill our mother. So I don't actually fault Oven for what he's doing, and I don't really fault a lot of the Big Mom pirates for what they're doing, because they are just having another perspective, and it was Capone and Luffy who initiated the attack on Big Mom. At first, for our group, it was just get Sanji back, but that was mostly from the Beansmokes, because they were the one who had promised Sanji up. They could just easily have promised someone else to Pudding and Big Mom, but they did Sanji. So at the core of the arc, at the core of things, from the Straws' perspective, the real enemies would have been the Beansmokes, but they took it out at Big Mom as well. So I don't really fault them for doing much. I mean, they're still not all really good people, and I hate Paris from the bottom of my heart. I think he's gross, and just there's so many things about that guy that just creeps me out. But I actually, despite that this is only the second chapter he's in, I understand where Brother Evan's coming from, and he seems like a pretty chill dude, because obviously right now they're at war. So I can get behind the fact that he is attacking her, because she did betray them at big time. It was bad what she did. So yeah, that was that little thing there. But then with Sanji, what he did, I really like the way that Sanji handled that situation, because he was like, okay, should I save her, should I not? Because if I do, I jeopardize this entire thing by revealing who I am. But if I don't, we literally lose her, which is also not an option, because she does still need to help them bake the cake, and obviously Sanji's a good person who needs to save women, so so it's it's a good mix of, do I jeopardize the mission by revealing myself, or do I jeopardize the mission and my morals by not helping out, or do I just trust someone else to come in? And that's where Pound comes and tries to help. So I really like Sanji's decision of, okay, we're just gonna pretend that Pound is the one doing this shit, but I'm gonna help her out because he's not a strong guy. which, you know, he could probably tell. So I really like that, because I was very afraid that Alvin was going to be Sanji's opponent, which, because we all want Sanji to fight someone. Like, I'm more happy about the cooking part, but I do want him to fight someone. I did not want it to be Brother Oven, because it seems like he was just someone who Oda drew in, like, kind of at the last second, and it was like, oh, this could be Sanji's opponent. But no, it seems like he's gonna be Beige's opponent, because Beige comes in, ready to save Chiffon, which, that was just heartwarming. Because the thing about Beige is that as a character, I think he's very likable as a character. Like, I enjoy when he has screen time, because it's like, ooh, what's he up to now? And when him and Luffy teamed up together, it was like, wow, this is a crazy alliance, because they're so different people and they don't really like each other. There's so many things that I like about his character and what he does for the story, but as a person, I'm not really, like, too fond of him. But here, when he's like, yes, I am gonna save Chiffon, and I'm gonna be like, look at this, pets, this is what your papa's doing, and I'm gonna save your mom, like, that was really nice, because it shows that he really cares about him. And we kind of knew that already, because we've seen instances of it, but I think this was really nice, because she was like, if you do this, you're gonna die. They're just gonna execute all of you. Just get away. If you can get away without me and get away safely. But he was like, no, I'm gonna save you, because you're my wife, and this is our child, and I love you. And he did not say any of those things, but it was there. So I found that really heartwarming. Like, I was close to tears, because it was just like, wow, I don't like Beige, but do I like Beige? I am conflicted. And that's what One Piece does really well, because it's like, I have a character that I don't really like. I would never be your friend. But then Oda comes in and writes something really great, and I'm just like, wow, never mind. You seem like a great guy anyway. So that was really good as well, and I'm really excited to see those two fight, because it seems like they're gonna fight. Sanji did say that he's like ready to help out, so it might be like a tag team thing. But again, Sanji needs a solo battle. It's been set up for that for so long, so I think it's mainly gonna be Beige's opponent, and we're gonna see who Sanji will fight. It would be really cool if Sanji could fight a woman, but I don't think it'll happen. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that anymore. But we'll see who he ends up fighting. Hopefully it's a character we have already met. But since it seems unlikely now it's gonna be any of the Beansmokes, I don't know who, so. And also we haven't seen the Beansmokes in like 3 chapters now. Like, they had that really great scene by the end of like, yeah, 3 chapters ago, and we haven't seen them since, so. Who knows where they are. Now we have, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about that. We have like 4 or 5 panels of the Straw Hats getting ready to, I think they must be close to Cacao Island, because they were like, ooh, we see several ships ahead, which means they're probably seeing the freaking Armada coming towards Beige. But the only interesting thing about this is that Carrot is like, tonight will be a full moon, and I'm just like, what? Because that could mean so many things. I know that there are a lot of weird theories concerning moons in One Piece. Like, obviously, there are like theories about the Straw Hats going to the moon at some point, and the moon's like the moon's literal influence in One Piece, like how there's like a population up there, because we know it from the end of the backstory. But there are also just other weird moon theories, and I know someone mapped out like the moon cycles through all out of One Piece, because it's very common in manga and anime to just like, when you show the moon, you just draw a full moon. But in One Piece, and I have not looked at this myself, I've not been this attentive to looking at the moon in every single chapter of One Piece, but I know that Oda doesn't draw just full moons. He actually pays attention to drawing the moon differently, and I know someone has mapped that out, so maybe there's a significance to the full moon, who knows. It could be something about the minks being stronger when there's a full moon. It could be symbolic in the fact that she has a story about the full moon. It could be like a metaphor for something. There's so many things, and I might be missing something, I don't know. But it's like, because even Trevor's like, what the heck are you talking about? And she looks, I don't even know how to describe how she looks. She's just like, oh, like, there's gonna be a full moon tonight. What does that mean? I don't know. Because it could be a symbolic thing, like a metaphor for something like, ooh, full moon, the first time Pedro and I had something, there was a full moon, and now I will fight for Pedro. Or it could be like, there will be a full moon, I am stronger during a full moon. Also, there's like the thing with the moons being related to the will of D, like, the moon in One Piece is a damn mystery, and what does this even mean? Okay, but I'm gonna stop, like, this is more like, give me your theories about the moon thing, cause what is the significance of a full moon? Like, what? Okay, let's move on. Luffy. I could talk about Luffy a lot. So they are aware that Luffy is moving through the mirror world. Which is like, okay, so Brûlé has probably been captured again. Yay! And Brûlé asks Luffy why he doesn't just go to Chocolate Town where the others are. Like, it's not like Katakuri can do anything anyway, because if Luffy has Brûlé, Katakuri is stuck in the mirror world, and Luffy could just do whatever. Luffy's not the kind of guy, he just wants to beat him, which is, yes, I am into this. But we get the little Haki talk about how Haki gets used up, and I don't know why I never applied this to anything other than Armament Haki, because obviously Haki is still like a form of power that gets weaker when you use it, and so should Observation Haki, and Katakuri, a lot of Katakuri's fighting does involve Observation Haki, so obviously the more he uses it, the less he would be able to see the future, or maybe the less reliable it would be. I don't know exactly what the repercussions of him using a lot of Observation Haki would be, because obviously it's not the same as Luffy using a lot of Armament Haki, but we'll see. It's probably gonna be revealed to us exactly what the repercussions are. But Luffy's plan is to beat him, and it is also to evolve when it comes to Haki, because Rayleigh told him the only way to really like unlock or make Haki bloom is to face up against stronger opponents. And I think Luffy has recognized that Katakuri is a stronger opponent, like he's definitely stronger than him, but just because you're stronger doesn't mean that Luffy can't beat you. He's done that before. He's done it with Enel, he's done it with Crocodile, he's done it with Lucci. Moria, it's like a iffy subject, because Moria was like kind of a team effort, but then again not, but then Moria was weird. And I say that with Thriller Bark being my favorite arc. So yeah, I really like that. Yeah, the extreme conditions of real battle, so it was just, there are so many things about this fight that could go down. So Luffy says, let's start with the concrete stuff that Luffy says. He says that, I wonder if I can get myself to see it too, a little bit of the future, I mean. So he's not expecting himself to be able to use Observation Haki to the exact extent that Katakuri can. He just wonders if he can see a glimpse of it. And this could help in a fight, but I think he wonders this purely because he wants to evolve and he wants to become stronger. And not exactly as, like, if I can see the future, I can win against Katakuri. I don't think it's, like, that thought process he had there. It's just, like, he has this power in Haki that I do not have, but maybe I can have it too, because I do want to beat him. So I need to become stronger. But again, as I talked about in the live reaction, and as I've talked about multiple times before, there are so many things that Luffy can learn from this fight. Because this is Luffy's time to evolve. This is where he can observe, use those really nice eyes of his, and just see what Katakuri can do, and steal those techniques from him, and steal, like, various things, like the ability to see in the future. Because that is one of the ways that Luffy learns. Like, with the CP9, he saw how they move real fast, like their sword, and again, he was like, okay, I'm gonna apply that to gear second, and I'm gonna move real fast. So Luffy is the kind of person who observes someone and then he learns rather quickly as well, because there was not a lot of time between CP9 doing their sort of thing and Luffy learning how to move real freaking fast. So it's not impossible for Luffy to learn how to see a bit of the future in this fight. But obviously I do not think he'll be able to do it as well as Katakuri, and Luffy doesn't have those expectations either, which is great because Luffy evolves slowly. He doesn't get like a random power-up, just now he can suddenly do something, which sometimes happens in anime and manga. Like, let's be real, sometimes the protagonist just gains a power-up because they believed hard enough or something. Luffy's not that kind of main character. Everything he does usually has like some sort of build-up and he's been training to do it, or he's, as I said, seen the technique before and tried to apply it to his own fighting, which is really great. It's one of the reasons why I really love the way Luffy fights, because it's very creative, it's based upon how others fight and how he can learn from those people, and Katakuri is really the best opponent from Luffy to learn from, because he's stronger than him but has very similar abilities. He relies a lot on Haki, and mostly on observation Haki, which is the form of Haki that Luffy utilizes the least, because obviously, as I said in the live reaction, Luffy's affinity lies with Conqueror's Haki, but he uses armament Haki a lot, because obviously it allows him to deal more damage to Logia users and just generally deal more damage to every kind of person he's up against. And observation Haki for Luffy is more a thing that he uses subconsciously, rather than actually using it actively to apply it to fighting styles, because he uses it mostly to dodge stuff. Where he could probably apply it to where should I strike next? Where is it optimal for me to go? Because seeing the future would enable you to figure out where your opponent will be next. So I'm really interested in seeing Luffy evolve his observation Haki, because I never thought about it, but it is really the one type of Haki that he uses the least, or at the very least, it's the one he uses more passively than the others. So yeah, I'm interested in that. And as I said in my live reaction, I did expect for the first person to be able to see in the future to be Sanji, because he's good at observation Haki. But it is very fitting that it is Luffy, because he is up against Katakuri, and Sanji hasn't really been like exposed to Katakuri as a person, other than like in the wedding where they like crossed paths like in 1 second. But I think it has been like not confirmed, but hinted at that Sanji will get this power, because Katakuri was shocked at how good he was at like dodging the bullets when they try to shoot him. So I think Sanji will definitely get the power in the future, but it is fitting that Luffy will be able to do it first, because he is the captain and the strongest Straw Hat. Fight me. If anyone doesn't think Luffy is the strongest Straw Hat, I don't know what you're reading and why you would think that. I do not see a real basis for thinking that Zoro or Sanji are stronger than him. Sorry. And I love both those characters. I'm not saying they're weak, I'm just saying Luffy's stronger. There's a reason he's a captain. But yeah, I completely lost track here. Basically, I just think this is gonna be a really good fight for Luffy to evolve, and I've said this before. I said this like the first time that they got paired up against each other. I was like, wow, they have similar abilities. Luffy could learn a lot from this, but I did not think it to the extent of him learning more Haki, which is gonna be super exciting because I want to see what Oda can do with Haki, or what else he can do with Haki. Because it's like, you have these 3 base forms, but then you have, as we've seen, Armament Haki, which can be implemented differently. Like when Katakuri said, there's this thing that's stronger than Armament Haki, and he uses it against Luffy, and Luffy was like, wow, his punches are stronger than mine, what is happening? And now we see that Observation Haki has like a next level, or we've known that, but like, it never occurred to me that Luffy was more interested in knowing how to take his Observation Haki to the next level rather than learning what the thing stronger than Armament Haki was. So I'm just interested in now what's gonna be the next level for his Conqueror's Haki, because we know that there are stages when it comes to like how strong the people you can your Conqueror's Haki can affect, like because we know that when it was in Fishman Island, Luffy used his Conqueror's Haki and he took out half of the people there, like what, 50,000 500, I think it was 50,000 because they were 100,000 in total. And Oda said that if Shanks had been the one doing it, he could have taken out all 100,000. So we know there are like levels to how much you can affect people and something. But that's more like using it to make it stronger. This is like another level entirely. Like this is almost a different ability. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how we can implement the other types of Haki to do different things, and what other creative things. Because who knows? Maybe Luffy unlocks another type of observation Haki usage. Who knows? But I'm really interested now, and as I've said before, or as I said in my live reaction, I am getting more and more sure that Luffy will win this fight rather than just having it be some kind of draw. Because I always knew Luffy wouldn't lose, because that can't happen. If he loses, he dies. That's the only conclusion there. But I never really, until this chapter, really thought he'd win. But with Luffy's declaration at the end, I don't see any other way, because Luffy's very stubborn when it comes to these things. And now that he sees an opening to win, he sees that Katakuri isn't invincible, he has more faith, and he's starting to think more clearly and more calmly. Like, just the last panel here where you have Luffy this strong, quietly contemplating things Rayleigh told him, and just how to beat Katakuri. I'm really happy that we're seeing very smart Luffy come back, because Dressrosa was like almost non-existent, that he's very smart when he fights. Cause it was very much just like punch, show up gear 4th and punch. But here he's really gonna have to use his brain to win this fight, which I'm just so on board with. Like, again, if you saw my Luffy analysis video, especially the second one, I'm just like in love with Luffy when he uses how smart he really is. And I'm really, really happy that Brule pointed out to, like, oh, you're not really that dumb when it comes to fighting. Because that's really, like, the core of Luffy's intelligence. It's not that he's, like, super intelligent like Robin. It's more like he's very, very gifted when it comes to fighting, and he knows what to look out for, and he knows where his weaknesses are and where his strengths are and how to implement them to different opponents and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking because now we're over 20 minutes, and there's already twice as much than I usually talk, so... This is what we're back at how much I talked like a year ago when I made these reviews, where it was just like, oh, I'm gonna talk for half an hour about this one chapter, which I mean you can do, but it's very long. So yeah, you can leave a like if you liked anything that I had to say. Leave in the comments below what you thought of the chapter. What do you think the full moon thing will mean? Like, what do you think will happen when Luffy and Katakuri fight? And just what do you think about this chapter? There were so many things, and this is gonna be the highlight of the chapters we get today. Definitely. I don't see what the other chapters can do that can top this one, so... But we'll see. I mean, someone could die. I don't know. But yeah. Like, leave a comment, subscribe, and until next time. Bye.